a good degree of intensity in it. The intensity dropped from both sides, I think, in the last 15 minutes. I think it's fair to say for anyone that was here the other noticed the intensity without the game, and to be fair, both sides have to take that responsibility for that. But listen, at the same time, we created quite a lot of scoring chances. I think our efforts in the first half were, when the game was in the melting pot, they were very, much up with what we were looking to do. And to be fair, a lot of these lads are really trying to push themselves forward to get themselves included in the match day planning for the National Hurling League coming up shortly. So listen, they've done well the last couple of games. We've a bit more to do, but we've 2 weeks to give it.
Yeah, you show the intensity at the start of the game. 8,000 people here longing to see a game of hurling, and 2 players get booked before the ball is even thrown in. So that showed the early intensity in the game.
It did, yeah, but listen, it was great.
Like when Hegarty was going through, you swear it was an All-Ireland final. It was a great atmosphere here, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was, and the shed over is a really great, atmosphere builder. Like, you know what I mean? They're always a very passionate crowd over there, first layer. So, hats off to them. They really get stuck into it over there on the far side. It was great, and it's great to see a bit of buzz, a bit of excitement about the grounds again. And listen, we're over the worst of this thing, and please God, the next few months we'll see bigger crowds at matches, and people are crying out to get out to games, and it's brilliant.
Sure. There wasn't many goal chances in this game. There's a lot of long-range scores. I suppose both sides kind of happy enough to pick off points when they could.
There were two, yeah, and I think ultimately when they did go into the inside forwards as well, both defences weren't allowing them to get away from them either. They were willing to cough up the free rather than let them get the run on them. So that had a factor as well. But listen, another workout, day 2, many more days to go yet, and we're still on a building process, I suppose, towards the league and trying to get the fitness levels up and get the intensity up. We've a bit of work to do.
Yeah, because you had a small enough panel out today, didn't you? 22?
We had, yeah, but there's no point in bringing too many. If fellas going to be involved, you want it to be a meaningful involvement. You don't want to be just playing them for the sake of playing it. We had a good few lads trained this morning as well beforehand. So listen, it's trying to get the work done and yet fulfil the fixtures and get a bit of quality work into everybody during the course of the weekend.
Okay, thanks, John.
That's right.
John, looking forward to a normal season after the good news from government and everything else, I'm sure, as
Absolutely, Ash. Listen, wasn't it fantastic to see so many here today, and people crowding in, well before the game, for the game, and, when there were moments near the sideline over there on the far side and the crowd got involved, it was brilliant to hear, the crowds again going at it. So, yeah, it was fantastic. Long may it last. Yeah.
You have a lot of talent at your disposal, John, from what you had out there today. A lot of new players.
Well, they're not necessarily new players. They're players that are on the panel for a number of years now, but like everything, it's time for them to put their hand up now and start pushing for their place in the team and more and have more involvement in the campaign ahead. So they know that and they expect that of themselves. So I wouldn't expect anything less of them.
Have they put their hand up, John? Have you been impressed with what have you taken from the last 2 games?
They've done well over the last two games, but they know themselves. They have a lot of work to do, and that it's a very competitive, environment that they're working in. But at the same time, their attitude is good, and that's all I can ask for this time of the year. That their attitude is good, and that they're trying to bring as much as they possibly can to the table. They're trying to play a bit of Fitzgibbon Cup as well at the same time. So it's a balancing act, but so far so good. I think for us, we've tried to, give the boys enough time to work with their college and still get a little bit of involvement with us as well.
How satisfying is it to have lads pushing like that, pushing your regulars, shall we say?
It's vital. It's not just satisfying, it's vital. And, these boys are ambitious and they want to be playing a bigger part in what's ahead of us, maybe, throughout, the springtime and summer. So, now is the time to put their hand up. And, they're doing it with their colleges as well, to be fair. They're playing well with their colleges as well, so that's important.
Can I just ask you about the water breaks going? Have you any opinions on it? Happy to see them go, or would you like to see them?
Well, by all accounts, it's going to be a major setback to us, so we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Can I just ask you about that? You've no way of communicating with players, basically, between the start and half time now, which is no mere forna. It must be difficult, it must be challenging to get messages.
Well, it's very difficult because, listen, I know for a fact I was trying to shout in messages during the game in the first half there, when the crowd was really involved and there was a lot of noise in the stadium, and there's only 8,000 here, and the lads couldn't hear me. So, this is a problem. Why do you think the Mayor Forno was introduced in the first place? Only so that we could get messages in. I think it'll be very interesting to hear the comments of others throughout the season when people will struggle to get messages into their team. So we'll have to wait.
It was somewhat manageable during COVID when there was nobody here.
It was easy during COVID. You could hear every word that was said in the field during COVID. You could hear a fellow whispering into another fella's ear during COVID. You're not going to hear a thing, I don't think, this year anyway.
John, it's going to be a short year. We'll be finished by August. Some sooner than that. There's going to be an awful lot of games now between league and round robin. It's going to be a different
And your
year.
Fitzgibbon Cup is only getting going really now, because they're only in the round robin section of their competition as well. So there's going to be a lot of matches, but
Are you glad to be back to the round robin?
I am, yeah, absolutely, yeah. The more games, the better, really, and it is going to be challenging. Of course, it is. It's going to be really tough, but that's why we need to be building our player base and having as many players as possible, ready to play and willing to play and up to the standard. And that's what our challenge is, to have as many players as possible up to participating and adding to what the team are doing on any given day.
John,
Thank you, John.
The 3 meetings between Kiely Limerick here this year, so how significant, if any, was winning with ease today?
There's no significance really, being honest about it. There's only one match that matters here this year. That's the one in June or May, whenever it is on. But the championship match is the one that matters, right? And that's the bottom line. Everything else is only a dress rehearsal before it.
How are yourself and your squad dealing with each other? Seem to be interested. Crowds, media, everything in what's obviously the pre-season tournament. How are yourself and your team managing the early season?
Listen, we don't even think. We just do our work. We enjoy it, and we're absolutely thrilled to have our families and our club mates and everybody else, able to go to the matches now and involved and able to get out and enjoy it. So, I think that was fantastic to see so many people here.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Good luck, John.